All right, we're looking at the master cylinder, front master cylinder on a GSXR in particular, but any sport bike would be the same. You can see that the master cylinder is actually full. It's got enough fluid in it, but it is quite dark. Assuming that it's reasonably worn out because it is dark, isn't really the greatest way to check necessarily. I do have an actual checker which works with .4 fluid in particular. Press the button, put it in there, it'll do its thing, and it measures actual water content of the fluid. It's showing 1%, which is in the okay range, and I'll just show you that again. Just put it in. %, which is okay. This is often overlooked in a motorcycle safety. It's pretty important to know that your brake fluid is good, and as water gets absorbed into the brake fluid, that's when damage will start to occur later. Accumulations in your calipers and your master cylinder will cause issues, a bit of a plaque buildup from that moisture. So change your fluid as recommended by the manufacturer. Usually it's about 2 years. It's a good idea. Do it at 2 years minimum. But if you have the test, you can do it as required. So we're going to go ahead and test the rear fluid here. It looks clean. It's nice and clear in comparison to what we've seen in the front. Got our tester here once again. Put it in. And it's showing 2%. So it showed 2% on the rear and 1% on the front. Interestingly enough, the front fluid is darker than the rear fluid. So I would have expected that the rear would have been lower versus the front, which is darker at 1% moisture content, but just goes to show you, you can't really tell. And here's another one just for good measure. You can see when the water content is too high, it shows that it is in the red. So this one's greater than 4%. Which is no real surprise with how dark that fluid is, but like we seen on the GSXR earlier, that the darker fluid had actually less water content than the lighter fluid in the system of that bike, whereas this one went right to the red.